Hello everyone, my name is Kalora Hospin, and today I would like to talk to you all about the research I did on my final project for Writing Arguments CO300 at Colorado State University, and just take you on a little journey about my research and the process in which I came upon all of my research. I started out wanting to know some simple facts about my topic, which was conserving biodiversity. I started out with the question of what is biodiversity. I knew basic definition, but I really didn't understand the scientific definition. I wanted to understand why it was so important to conserve biodiversity. I wanted to know about the current situations. I've heard a lot about what was going on in Australia, but I didn't really understand what was going on in Australia. I didn't really understand the extent of what was going on in Australia. I also wanted some current statistics about the carnivores. We all hear about them dying every day, and we don't really understand why or what's going on. We assume that they're overhunted or it's the climate change, but we don't really understand what's going on with them. I also wanted to know what I could do to help conserve biodiversity, to help the world, really, to help my species and make this world a better place for my children, my grandchildren. So I started out with the book entitled Conservation by Clive Hambler, and in that book he talks about basically what is biodiversity, what is conservation, what could be done, what should be done, and what are some threats to biodiversity. Upon reading that book, it led me to another book entitled Conservation Biology by Andrew Pullen. Again, it was produced by Cambridge University, and it too described biodiversity and the threats to biodiversity and the things that could be done and the things that just weren't working. Those two books led me to an article entitled Climate Change, a Cause for New Biodiversity Conservation Objectives, but Let's Not Throw the Baby Out with the Bathwater, by Suzanne M. Prober and Michael Dunlap. This article really helped illustrate what needed to be done and ways that we could do it, like a win-win approach to the argument of conserving biodiversity. That one led me to another article by Apaki-Apoku, Seth Apaki-Apoku, using protected areas as a tool for using protected areas as a tool for biodiversity conservation and ecoterrorism, a case study for Kakim National Park in Ghana. This article mainly talked about ways that biodiversity could be used to bring in revenue for third world countries. And I thought this was a novel approach. This is a new way of getting people involved, letting them see what the benefits, their immediate benefits of biodiversity. And it also could be one way to improve the economy. But I didn't want people just to do it for money reasons. This also led me to another article entitled Hard Choices, Making Trade-Offs Between Biodiversity Conservation and Human Well-Being by Thomas McShane, Paul Hirsch, and Trang-Chi Chung, and Alexander Sung Ogura, and Ann Kinsey. This is a journal article, and again, they were striving to have win-win situation between the human population and conserving biodiversity, and they rightly pointed out, human population is increasing, and it is going to be harder to conserve biodiversity because one of the major things that need to happen in order to conserve biodiversity is the ability to conserve conserve habitat. So they were looking for ways that we might be able to make it a win-win situation and make hard choices both for the world and for our species. It was actually a very compelling argument. that led me to another book entitled Introduction to Conservation Biology, or Introduction to Conservation Biology, and Introduction for Southern Australia by T.R. New. This gave me some background on the current situation with what's going on in Australia. They're going through a mass extinction there, especially with their small mammals, due to climate change and various other things, lack of fire regimes, lack of flood regimes. They feel that that everything in the last 10 years has been accelerated. This also led me to an article done by Teen McDonald and John Warnowski, and it's called Grappling with the Unthinkable, Small Mammal Extinction Spreading in Northern Australia. In the book, An Introduction for Southern Australia, it talks mainly about the problem that's been going on in Southern Australia, and this has been going on for 30-some years. Whereas the article Grappling with the Unthinkable, Small Mammal Extinction Spreading into Northern Australia really shows how the effect of climate change and the problems throughout that continent have spread. John Warnowski even mentions in the article how, the northern part of Australia thought they were immune to all of this, that it was just going to be Southern Australia with most of these problems, and it turns out that it's not. So really, these articles have led me to have a basis and understanding of really what I set out to learn, which was I now know what biodiversity is. I now know why it's so important to conserve biodiversity. I know about what's going on in Australia. I feel like I can make a difference armed with this information and go out and educate the world with it, hoping that they take in this information and also do something as well. So really I felt that my research went well and was very informative. I did not use it all in my paper, however, but I did use concepts, overlapping concepts that really I felt applied to the goal that I was trying to set. Thank you for listening.